Hi, my name is Calia and I'm the founder of Brown Sugar Yoga NYC. Thank you so much for joining me today for Computer Body Antidote. In this practice, we will work to create more health in our bodies, especially if we've been sitting in front of a computer for a long time for extended hours, which many of us do often. So as I am talking a little bit, take your hands out in front of you. You can have your elbows by your sides. You're going to make fists and just lift up the fists and then lower the fists. So this will be our wrist warm-up for today. You might connect your movement to your breath, so perhaps inhaling as you lift and exhaling as you lower the fists. So we're going to be working with 4 different principles today. The first is movement. Right? So movement equals health. If we're moving our body, then the energy has less chance to get stuck in one area and to create pain. So we'll be working with movement and flow, creating that flow energy through the body. Let's turn our palms this way as if we're holding onto a steering wheel. We're going to lift and lower here as well. See if you can release your shoulders, soften your jaw. Great. So the second principle we'll work with is strengthening the places that may be weak. The third is stretching places that may be tight. And the fourth is release. All right, so on all of our levels, physical, energetic, emotional, mental, we can hold tension, and that holding of tension can also create pain. So release is an important element. Okay, so let's open and close the hands a few times. Great. And just shake that out. All right. All right, we're going to take the palms together. You can lift up the elbows and draw the hands down. So this will stretch the forearms. It's also a mudra, which is bringing together the 2 sides of the body and bringing in that energy of harmony and balance. So draw your shoulder blades together, lengthen up through your spine. I invite you to close your eyes or find a downward gaze. Just feeling the energy of bringing palms together, as well as finding that stretch at the same time. Let's take a moment to check in with your breath. We're going to chant one sound of Om together. Deep breath in. Bow your chin in toward your heart. Take a moment to acknowledge yourself for showing up for your practice today, and acknowledging all of our ancestors on this yogic path. As you're ready, blink your eyelids open, release, and open and close your hands a couple of times. Great. So usually in my classes, I try to cover more of the 8 limbs of yoga. Today we'll be really focusing on the physical practice of yoga. So before we begin moving, I just wanted to point out that balls are a really amazing way to create energy flow in the body. So I use these rubber balls. You can also use tennis balls. But even if you just every couple of days lay down or lean against the wall and use a ball to roll out places of tension, that's a really great practice. We're not going to do that today, but I just wanted to mention that. So let's take a little bit of movement for the neck. So you're going to breathe into center. As you exhale, turn your head to one side. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, turn your head to the other side. So we'll just go back and forth a few times. Move with your breath. So you're keeping your chin level to the floor. Just finding this range of motion. Notice if you can move your head more to one side than the other, which is common. And take that one more time to your second side. Good. Inhale your head to center, and then exhale, tip your ear toward your shoulder, stretching the side of your neck. Inhale back up, and exhale to your second side. Nice gentle movement. Notice if you're clenching your jaw as you do this. See if you can find some softness there. One more time to each side. Great. And bring your head back to center. You can take your finger in front of your chin as a guide. I'll turn to the side so you can see this a little bit better. So we're gonna slide the neck back. So you're gonna move your chin away from your finger and then slide your head forward again. So we're not lifting or dropping the chin, we're just sliding the head back as if it's on a track, right? It's moving forward and back. So you can keep your finger there or take your hand down. We'll draw the head back, hold for about 5 seconds, and then come forward again. So you're making kind of a double chin situation there. So we'll take that a couple of times, sliding back with the head, hold there, and then release that. Take that again, sliding back. Continue to breathe deeply and release. We're gonna add some arms to that. So lift your arms up. You're gonna slide back with your head again and then draw your shoulder blades toward one another. So you're kind of squeezing and strengthening those muscles in the upper back, and then release the arms, release the head. And draw the head back once again. Draw shoulder blades toward each other. So it's not just a movement of the elbows moving back, but it's really the shoulder blades sliding toward one another. And then release. Take that one more time, starting with the head sliding back. Draw the arms back. Hold there, take a deep breath in and out. And then release that. Beautiful. Let's take some big rolls of the shoulders. Maybe a sigh out. Creating sound is also a great way to release tension and to promote energy flow. And then just shake out your head, find some gentle movements there. If you're sitting up on something, you can just slide that off to the side. Taking your hands onto your knees, start to circle in a clockwise direction. You might hear some cracks and pops in the hips as you go. You can breathe in as you come forward and breathe out as you circle back. And these circles can be as large or as small as you'd like them to be. Just finding some movement in the pelvis, which tends to be stuck in one position often when we're at the computer. And we're sending that energy up the spine. So remember which way you're going. Right? If you're going in your clockwise or counterclockwise direction, remember which leg is in front. We'll come to center. Take your hands behind you, feet out in front of you, and inhale, lift up to a tabletop. Exhale, release back down. Right, take the other foot in front, and you'll go the other direction. Right, so I'm going to go counterclockwise now. Again, inhale forward, and exhale back. So you're stirring up this energy. Drawing the energy up through the spine. Let's take one more circle and then come to center. Once again, take your hands behind you, feet out in front of you. I'll face sideways this time. And inhale, lift up. Exhale, release the hips back down. So cross out your ankles and roll forward so you're on hands and knees. If you'd like some extra padding, you can take a blanket underneath your knees. And then you'll bring your knees hip distance apart, wrists shoulder distance apart. Right, we're gonna come into a cat-cow breath. So as you inhale, lift the tailbone, lift your chest, look forward. As you exhale, round your back. Drop the head, drop your tailbone, and lift up through the belly. Take that again. Inhale, come forward, spread wide through your hands, and exhale, curl in. Continue like that. So as you're breathing in, feel your shoulder blades drawing toward one another, the shoulders moving down away from your ears. As you exhale, lift the navel up toward your spine and press the shoulder blades away. So you're lengthening and stretching that place behind the shoulder blades, right, the upper back. And just take that one more time. And exhale. Beautiful. Tuck your toes, come to sit back onto your heels. You might walk your feet in toward one another a little bit. And you're gonna give yourself a fist bump. I'll turn so you can face me. So fist bump here, pretty strong grip of the fist. We're going to take the backs of the hands down to the floor. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, begin to lengthen your arms. See if you can keep that strong grip of the fists. You might notice one arm is lengthened more than the other, right? And take some deep breath. This might be a lot of sensation for you. It might not be as much, right? Many of us will have our elbows bent. Some of you might have your arms straight. All of that is fine. Just breathe into whatever sensation that is there. One more deep breath in. And out. Release that and just shake out your arms. Great, circle the shoulders again. And we're going to come back into hands and knees. Okay. So on the breath in, let's reach the right leg back behind us. As you exhale, round your back, draw your knee in toward your chest, and we're going to step the foot forward between the hands. If that's not possible for you, you can take your foot to the outside and heel toe in. You can always use your hand to help your foot come forward. We're going to come onto fingertips, or if you want to use blocks, you're welcome to do so. Tuck the back toes and lift your back knee. So we're in a low lunge here. If you need more space for your belly, you can walk your foot out to the side and bring your hand on the inside. That might be more comfortable, right? So taking either this variation or foot in between the hands variation. Reach back through the back heel, lift and open your chest and feel that stretch that you might experience here on the front of the left hip. Take another deep breath in and out here. Let's lower the back knee down to the ground. We're going to come to a crescent lunge. So you can walk your hands up onto the front thigh. Feel the inner thighs drawing toward one another. Right, so you're really engaging into your center. Stay here for a little bit more grounding, or you can slide your arms up into the sky if you'd like. Lift your chest here. Soften your jaw and shoulders away from your ears. Take another big breath in. As you exhale, twist to your right. So the right hand will come behind you, left hand to the outer leg. Take another breath to lift and lengthen. Exhale to twist. Inhale, let's come to center. Again, hands can be on your knees or up into the sky. As you exhale, sweep your fingertips to the floor, reach the hips back and stretch over the front leg. You're welcome to lift your toes if you'd like for more of a stretch in the calf. And we'll just flow between those. Inhale, come forward, lift the arms up. Or hands on knee, exhale, sweep the arms down, stretch the front leg. It's fine if your knee doesn't come all the way straight. Continue with your breath. So we're just bringing that water energy, that flow into the body, creating some movement to shift the energy, move the energy through our bodies that may have gotten a little stuck. Let's take one more. Exhale down. Good. From here, turn your toes in. The left shin is going to reach back behind you until your shin is parallel with the outside of your mat. We're going to come up to stand on that knee, extend through the right leg, and then even out your hips. You want your hips to be stacked on top of that left knee. Inhale, open your arms wide. Exhale, bring the right hand down. Left arm comes up to the sky. So make sure to not press too much into that leg. We want to lift the energy of the leg up into the hand at the same time. Let's bend the top elbow, bring your hand behind your head, and move your head back, kind of like how we were doing before when we were sitting. Move the head back into your hand. Rotate your chest up to the sky. Reach long through that left elbow. Deep breath into the side waist. And take one more breath here. Inhale to lift up. Take your left hand down to the floor, right arm up and over your ear. Long stretch to the side of your waist. And then circle your hands down. Great. You can come back to the front of your mat. I'm going to face this way so I can see the camera. Inhale, open your chest. Cow pose, exhale, round into cat pose. Inhale, come to a neutral spine. Take your left foot back behind you. And exhale, round in. Step your left foot forward between your hands. Again, you can stay here, or you can have your foot on the outside of the hand. We're going to tuck the back toes and lift that knee. Spread wide through your feet, feeling feeling grounded in the legs. And then draw inner thighs toward each other. So the right hip is drawing forward, left hip is drawing back. And then see how much you can open. I like to come onto fingertips. You might want your hands on blocks. So you can open the chest, draw shoulder blades toward each other. And then notice if you're jutting your chin forward. See how that changes my voice. Find that sliding back of the chin. So the neck, back of the neck is really open. One more deep breath in and out here. Lower your back knee down to the ground and find your crescent lunge. The back toes can be tucked or untucked. All right, so hands onto the leg for a little bit more grounding, or arms up into the sky for a little more expansiveness. If your arms are up, make sure to soften the shoulders. Let's take a breath in here. On an exhale, twist to your left, left hand back, right hand can come to the outside of that leg. Find another breath in to lengthen. A breath out to twist a little bit more. And then inhale, sweep your arms back up or take your hands to your knee. Exhale, hands come down to the floor and reach back through the pelvis. You can flex the front foot if you'd like. And then flow through that. Inhale lifts you up. Exhale, you fold forward. And again, your leg might not come straight all the way, that's fine. You can also use blocks to lift the floor up. The point is not to make a particular shape, but more to just find some flow in the body. From here, let's turn the left toes forward, spin the right leg back, and we'll step our hands up onto the hips. Make sure that your hips are lined up over that standing leg. Inhale, reach your arms out. And exhale, left hand down, right arm up to the sky. We'll bend through the top elbow and press the head back into that hand. Start strengthening the neck here and bringing it into better alignment. See if you can spin the chest open toward the sky a little bit more. Lift up through that elbow. Breathing into the side waist. For me, when I'm having back pain, especially low back pain, side bending can be really helpful for that. Inhale, lift back up. Right hand comes down to the mat, left arm up and over. You can be on a flat palm, on a fist, or fingertips here. Another big breath in, and circle your hands down. Okay. Coming back onto hands and knees, let's tuck the toes here. And then you're gonna lift your knees up off the floor just a couple of inches. See if you can lift your lower belly up. So you're drawing your navel up toward your spine, strengthening in the core muscles, also strengthening in the arms, right, and the whole back. Take another big breath in here. And then lift your hips up and back. Exhale, come to downward facing dog. And I'm going to encourage you for your practice today to bend the knees in your downward facing dog. Even if you can straighten them, bend the knees so that you can reach back through the hips even more. So we're focusing on the length between our hands and our hips more so than the length of our legs. Take another big breath in. Open your mouth. Another inhale. Maybe fluttering through the lips. Great. And start to walk your hands back towards your feet. If you have a blanket on your mat, you can move it off to the side as you come. And come to hang over your legs. Again, you might bend your knees here. So nod your head yes. Shake your head no. And then start to make your way up to stand. You can roll through the spine or lengthen with a long spine to come all the way up. If you're feeling dizzy at all, just tuck your chin into your chest. Take a moment here. When you're ready, you can lift your gaze, finding mountain pose. Just take a moment to notice what's happening in your body, to feel your breath, feel the soles of your feet on the earth. Great. Let's take a breath in, sweep the arms up, take a little back bend as you lift, and exhale, fold forward over your legs. Slide your hands up onto your shins or even your thighs to lift up. Draw the shoulder blades toward each other here. Exhale, fold forward. Let's walk the hands forward and come back into our downward facing dog. Knees bent, reaching the hips up and back. Inhale forward to a plank pose at the top of a push-up position. And exhale, slowly lower the knees down to the ground. From here, we're going to take some shoulder blade shrugs. So keeping the elbows straight, start to draw your shoulder blades toward each other, and then press your shoulder blades away. So we're just finding a movement in the shoulder blades, nothing else. The rest of the spine stays steady. All right, just shrugging and then pressing away. We're strengthening those upper back muscles here, which tend to get really stretched out if we're curling forward in front of a computer. Take that one more time. And then find neutral where you're right in between, not in that shrugged position or that pressing away, but in between. Take another in-breath. And then bend your elbows. Exhale, lower all the way down into your belly. You can untuck the toes here. Lift your chest forward and up. Again, notice if you're jutting your chin out, draw it back so the back of the neck stays open. Take another breath in. Exhale, lower your head down. Inhale, lift up. Shoulders move away from your ears. Exhale, lower down. One more time. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower down. Press into hands and knees. Inhale, come back up. And then reach your hips toward your heels for a child's pose. We're going to keep our arms extended out in front of us. You might need to slide them back a little bit. So you're reaching forward with your hands, letting your head drop, letting the hips move gently toward your heels. Take a couple breaths here. See if you can find an even inhale and exhale. Just breathing into your back. Feeling it widen as you breathe in and soften. Inhale back up onto hands and knees. Good, reach that right leg back. Exhale, step your foot forward between your hands. Let's tuck the back toes, lift that knee to come to the lunge. And then walk your hands up onto the front thigh. Again, feel inner thighs drawing toward one another. That will help with your stability. And then find a nice strong focus in front of you. You can keep your hands there or sweep your arms up into the sky. If you're having any lower back pain, soften your back knee so you can create more space for your lower back. If your back is feeling fine, you can reach back through that heel, which creates more of an opening in the hip flexor. One more breath here. Take a twist, right arm back. Left arm can come to the outside of your front thigh. Inhale back through center. And then take your hands to your hips, straighten your front leg, and spin your back heel down to the floor. We're going to come to warrior two. So you can bend through the front knee again. Make sure you can see your big toe on the inside of that knee. So the knee is right on top of the ankle. And then open the arms wide. Big breath in. Great. We're going to cross the right arm on top of the left. You can take a big hug here, wrapping the hands around you. You can bring the backs of the hands together, or wrap around so your palms are touching. Any of those variations are great. Wherever you are, reach your elbows forward and up. Inhale. As you exhale, twist toward the front leg. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist toward the back leg. Take that again. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist toward the right leg. Keep that right thigh rolling out to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twisting back. Good, come to center, open the arms. You can straighten the front leg for a moment if you need, and then bend the knee again. Take the forearm to the thigh, left arm up and over your ear. If you'd like, take your hand to the back of your head once again. Press your head back. And then let's take the hand behind us. Turn your palm back, and you'll drop your hand to your lower back. Use that to draw that shoulder onto your back. Both shoulders drawing onto the back, and then let your head drop down toward the floor. Breathe into that stretch on the left side of your neck. Steady breath in and out. Good. And gently release that hand. Let's sweep it forward. One more breath. And take your hands down to the floor. Spin the back heel up. Step back to the back of your mat. Plank pose. In breath here. Exhale, slowly lower the knees down. Again, a couple of shoulder blade shrugs here. Elbows stay straight. Keep breathing. And then find neutral in-breath. Exhale, lower all the way down. Untuck the toes here. Let's take the fingertips to the floor on the outsides of the mat. You'll draw the shoulder blades toward each other. Move your shoulders away from your ears and lengthen out through the elbows, like you could reach to the sides of the rooms with your elbows. With that, pressing through the lower body, reach your chest forward and up. You might stay in this lower cobra kind of a shape, or press into the fingertips to come higher. Take care of your back. Higher is not necessarily better. See what feels good for your body. Feel your chest opening. Keep rooting into the legs, rooting into your pubic bone to open the chest. One more big breath here. And then lengthen yourself forward to come back down. Hands underneath shoulders, lift yourself up. Come through that child's pose just for a breath. And inhale forward onto hands and knees. Beautiful. I'm going to turn to the second side. So take your left leg back behind you, in breath. Exhale, step your foot forward between your hands. Tuck the back toes, lengthen through that knee. Spread wide through the feet. Draw the inner thighs together. Lift the pelvic floor up. And then walk your hands to your front thigh or sweep your arms to the sky for your high lunge. That front knee should be on top of the ankle unless that's not feeling good for you. Again, feel free to soften the back knee if that's better. Take another breath. Twist to your left, left arm back. Inhale up to center. Hands to hips, straighten your front leg, spin the back heel down. We're going to turn the pelvis, turn the torso, but as we rebend that left knee, really open that left thigh to the left. So the knee's pointing in the same direction as the toes. Reach your arms out, big breath in. Exhale, bring left arm on top of right. You can take the hug or the eagle wrap with the arms. Reach your elbows forward and up. Exhale, twist to your left. Inhale to center. Make sure that left knee is still pointing over the toes. Exhale, twist toward the back. Inhale to center. Twisting to the left, exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist right. Nice. Come back to center. Open the arms wide. Big breath in. Again, you can straighten the leg for a moment. We're going to bend through the knee, forearm to thigh. Right arm up and over the ear. So make sure you're not sinking into that shoulder, right? If this were a pillar in a building, we don't want our building to collapse around the pillar. So use that to support, but lift up from there. You can take your hand behind your head, or take that hand behind your back, right? Back of the hand to the lower back, and use that to open the right shoulder even more. Rotate the chest up to the sky, and then drop your head toward the floor. Get that stretch through the right side of your neck. Couple deep breaths. Notice if you're gripping your toes, see if you can find a release there. Excellent. All right, let's take the hands, sweep the arm up over your ear, and then down to the ground. All right, spin the back heel up, step it back. One more time here, big breath in. You can lower the knees or keep the knees lifted. Take some shoulder blade shrugs. So either in your plank pose or in your half plank with knees to the floor. And then lower all the way down onto your belly. Good, let's slide the hands behind us. You can interlace your fingers if that's available to you, or hook your thumbs. We're gonna take a breath in to lift the chest. You can lift your legs this time if you'd like. Feel the strength of your back here. One more big breath in. Exhale, release down. Turn your head to the side. Take a moment to release everything. Breathe into your back. Feel your back widen on the breath in. And turn back to center. You can take the same thing if you'd like, or you're going to bring your arms out in front of you and stack your elbows right underneath the shoulders for Sphinx pose. So our forearms are in front of us, they're parallel, palms on the floor, and then use that to draw the floor toward you and to lift your heart up. So the legs are reaching into the floor. Press so much into the tops of your feet that your knees even lift. That might even give a little bit more space for your chest to open wider. And then from here, play with looking side to side. Good. Or dropping the chin in toward your chest, even as your chest yearns forward. Just finding one more opportunity to stretch the neck. Good. Lift your head up. Widen the elbows. Lower down. Take one breath in to lift everything up. And exhale, release your arms by your sides. Turn your head the opposite way. And if it feels good to rock your hips from side to side, go ahead. That can sometimes create a release for the lower back. Okay, turn your head back to center. We're going to bring our arms out to the sides, and you can play with it. For me, it works best to have my arms bent in a cactus shape. If it works good for you to extend your arm, feel free to do that. You might bring your hand up at a diagonal. So just play with this as you go. So I'll start with my right arm so you can hopefully see me better. So find a position with your arm. You're going to take the other hand into the floor and then start to roll onto that side where you're on the extended arm side until you feel a stretch in your pecs in the front of the chest. The leg that's on top now, you can lift it up and then reach it back behind you. So then your toes can come to touch the floor or anywhere that feels like it's supporting you in this position. So for me, I have my left hand on the floor, elbow lifted up so I can draw that shoulder blade onto the back. And I'm feeling this sensation in the front of my right chest, shoulder area. So take a few deep breaths here. Just breathe into that sensation. Imagine that you could send your breath, warm breath to that area, and just supporting this area in releasing, melting, and gently opening. And take one more breath here. And gently slide yourself back onto your belly. And then we'll switch sides. So other arm comes out. And of course this side might be different than the first side. Right? So do what works best for you. All right, you're going to start to press into the right hand, float that top leg back behind you. And again, play with the angle of that arm, lifting the elbow up, drawing it down, sliding along the floor until you find that spot that feels really potent for you. Just breathing there. That melting quality coming in. This is a really, really great stretch for opening up this area that gets really tight and shortened as we're hunched forward in front of a computer. You're going to also do this standing up, just taking your hand onto the wall behind you. Take one more breath here. And then gently release back down onto your belly. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders and lift yourself up. Great. Okay, let's come to sit. And if you want to take your blanket underneath you again, you can. We're just going to take one more stretch for the front of the neck. For the anterior scalenes before we go down into the floor. So I'm going to mirror you. So you'll take your right hand to your collarbones, to the collarbones on the opposite side. And then turn your head to the right, turning away from the fingers. And then you're going to lift your left ear up toward the sky. So you're tipping your head back slightly. just until you feel that stretch in the front side of your neck, somewhere between the front and the side. Couple of breaths there. The hand is just sort of bringing some weight to the collarbone to help increase that stretch. Good. Keep your head where it is. Release the hand that's on your collarbone and just take it to the side of your head and use that to lift your head back up to center. And then just give a little shake there. And then take your left hand across to the collarbones, just a little bit of weight there. Turn your head to your left. And then lift that right ear up toward the sky as you tip your head back gently. Great. Sometimes these muscles can get tight as well as we hold the head forward. And then slide the hand down and over to the side of your head. Lift back up and release. Take a little shake, a little movement. Great. All right. So let's come onto our backs. If you want a little core strengthener as you come down, you'll step your feet parallel and pretty close into your hips. Reach your arms out in front of you and then slowly roll down onto your back. Okay. So feet parallel here. Bring your arms by your sides. We want to keep our heads straight for this, so if you need to watch, then feel free to watch first before you start doing it. We're going to press into the feet and on an inhale, lift the hips up away from the ground, so we're opening the chest gently. And then exhale, you'll roll back down. So just that, right? Inhale, lift your pelvis, lower back, middle back, up off the ground. And then as you exhale, you'll roll your way back down. So keep going with that, your own breath, your own timing. Try to keep the weight even in your feet. So notice if your knees are opening and you're bringing more weight to the pinky edges of the feet, keep reaching down into the inner edges of your feet. And as you come up, you don't have to go as high as you possibly can go, right? We don't want to squeeze in the back body and create more tension. We're just hoping to strengthen here. If you would like, as you go, you're welcome to add arms. So as you lift up, you'll rise your arms up into the sky and all the way up by your ears, touching the floor. And on your exhale, lower your arms back down next to your sides. Start coordinating the movement of the pelvis and the back with the arms. Reaching the arms up is a nice way to bring more breath, create more space for your breath. And just again bringing in this idea of flow into the body. One more time. And exhale. All right, hug the right knee to your chest and then cross your ankle on top of the left thigh. We'll flex that foot a lot to engage the muscles of the lower leg, which will support the knee joint. And then you'll draw your left knee in toward your chest. Take your hands to wrap behind your left leg, and then you'll draw that leg in toward you. You can use the right elbow on the right thigh to open that knee away from you and continue to flex through your foot. Draw your shoulder blades gently toward one another, open in the collarbones, release your jaw. And take a couple of breaths here into this stretch. In the hip, the piriformis muscle. Great. And release that. Hug that right knee into your chest. You can keep the left sole of the foot on the floor or extend that leg long if you'd like. But really check it out and pay attention. If that creates more of a pulling sensation in your back, definitely keep the knee bent. So we're just, the goal is to create some width across the lower back here. And then if your leg is straight, bend it again so that the sole of your foot's on the ground. Take your hands behind that right leg, take a breath in, and exhale, extend your heel up toward the sky. Just take that a couple of times. It's fine if your leg goes further away from your chest. Just see if you can keep the heads of the shoulder blades moving down toward the floor, collarbones open. Last time, extending out. Good, and release that. Bringing the soles of your feet to the floor. See if you can tip your pelvis so that the hip bones lift up, tailbone reaches down toward the floor. You're creating a space underneath your lower back. And then as you exhale, flatten out your lower back, draw your navel in toward your spine. Inhale, release, lifting the top of the pelvis up. Exhale, drawing it down, flattening the lower back. And one more time, just finding this pelvic rock here. And exhale. Good. Lift your left knee into your chest, cross your foot over the opposite knee. Flex that foot a lot and then draw the right leg into you. You can wrap around the back of your leg, draw it in, and use your left elbow to open the left knee away from your chest. Once again, see if you can soften the shoulders down toward the floor. Release in the neck, release in the jaw. Your eyes might be soft as well, or even closed. Often for me, closing my eyes creates more of an opportunity to move into the internal space so I can really feel what's going on. And then let's release the right foot to the floor. Draw the left knee into your chest. And then again, keep the leg there or extend that right leg along the ground. So this is great for releasing in the lower back, also for engaging or for activating in the belly here. Right? That's the place where we digest all of the things that we're taking into our bodies, both our food as well as media or any experiences that we're having. We're digesting and processing all of that in the gut. So this is a really healthy thing to do for the gut as well. Okay, slide the right sole of the foot back to the floor if it wasn't there already. Hands behind the left leg, take a breath in. Exhale, extend that heel up toward the sky, just lengthening the leg. Twice more, bend your knee, collarbones wide. Exhale, extend the leg up. One more time. Let's release both soles of the feet to the ground and then just windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Okay, just finding a little release there. And then we'll hug both knees into the chest. We'll lower the knees over to one side. If your knees don't easily come to the floor, feel free to slide a blanket underneath the legs or in between your knees. You can open the other arm out to the side, lift up your head, turn your gaze away from your knees, and lower the head back down. Take a couple of deep breaths. Just releasing. Taking this twist in the body, which is really great for releasing tension all along the spine and torso. And then inhale back to center. Good. And you'll lower your knees to the other side. Open the opposite arm. Lift up your head. Turn your gaze in the opposite direction of your knees and then release the head back down. Couple of deep breaths here. Check in with the place in your body where you tend to hold the most tension and see if you can soften just a little bit more in that area. Good. So this time roll all the way up to sit, so you can just roll over toward your knees. Come on up and take a blanket. It can be any blanket that you want. We'll take a little chest opener to end. So I'm going to take the blanket up to the top of my mat, and I'm going to make this a little baby roll at the bottom of that blanket. So this is going to go underneath my shoulder blades, and the rest of the blanket will be for my head. So you're going to come to lay down, and for me just this little roll is plenty. You might want a bigger roll. So I'm going to place the roll right on the bottom tips of my shoulder blades. And then my shoulders and head will come onto the blanket above that. I'm going to reach my arms out to the sides. And then you can take anything that you'd like with the legs. I like taking my feet wide and letting my knees knock in toward one another. That helps to widen my lower back. All right, so you can take that. It might feel good to take the soles of the feet together and the knees out to the sides, or the legs straight out in front of you. So find any of those variations. And I'll invite you to close your eyes here. Bring your attention to your belly. Take some deep belly breaths. So you'll fill up your belly like a balloon on your inhale. And on the exhale, allow your belly to deflate. Feel the shoulders softening. And this hard armor that we sometimes build up in the chest, feel that beginning to melt away. If this feels really comfortable, you're welcome to stay here for our final rest. If this is not where you want to stay any longer, roll over to your side. And then you might slide that blanket underneath your knees. Especially if you have lower back pain, this can be really helpful for creating more space in the low back. And you can lay all the way down, coming into Shavasana, final rest. Take time to adjust yourself. You might slide the shoulder blades gently toward each other. Not a squeezing, but just a gentle movement so the shoulder blades lay flat on the ground. I'll recommend palms face up so the fronts of the shoulders are open. And then just release, allow your legs to flop open. If that's not comfortable, you could cross at your ankles. You could also take your hands onto your lower belly or anywhere else that feels supportive for you. So we'll rest here for a few minutes. Take a scan of your body from toes to the head or head down to the toes. Inviting all of your muscles to release into the support of the floor beneath you. Making time for this rest. Know that you deserve it. You deserve this time for yourself. And knowing that when you give yourself the gift of space and time, of release, then you're probably better able to show up for the rest of your life and the people in it. So as thoughts come in, on your exhale, as if you're inviting them out the door. Begin to deepen your breath. breath in. Open your mouth on your exhale. Start to find some gentle movements, maybe fingers and toes, or by letting your head rock from side to side. Let's gather the knees back into the chest. Give yourself a big hug. If it feels good to rock from side to side, you can do that. And then roll all the way over onto one side. Take a moment to pause. And then gently lift your way up to sit. You can sit up on some padding if you'd like. Take your palms together in front of your heart, a hand onto your heart and belly, or anywhere else that feels supportive for you right now. Just breathe and notice. Check in with how you're feeling. If this practice was supportive for you, you're welcome to come back and do it again and again. Or find one thing that felt really useful, and you might commit to yourself to doing that at least a few times a week. Let's join our voices together for a final sound of Om to close. Bow your chin into your chest in gratitude for yourself, for one another, for all of humanity, past, present, and future. And as you're ready, release your hands, blink your eyelids open, and lift your gaze. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope that was useful for you. Please feel free to leave comments. And if you are not on our mailing list, you can go to brownsugaryoga.com, find out about our upcoming workshops, join our mailing list there, and I hope to practice with you again soon. Thank you so much.